Sean Weatherspoon, the linebacker, and Corey Peters, the defensive tackle. They both came from the Atlanta Falcons. They're actually pretty close friends, but they both said that they came here individually. They didn't know necessarily that they were considering the Cardinals as heavily as they were until after the fact that they figured out they were both coming here. And I think that helps. It's going to help them defensively because of the players they are. But I think it also helps when you have that kind of chemistry already with a couple of new pieces. If you're overhauling this defense, which at this point the Cardinals clearly are, they're going to have a lot of new pieces on that defense. It doesn't hurt that you have a couple guys that already kind of know each other.
And it says something about the fact that they did come separately, although I think they flew in together and had to go back to Atlanta to sell their houses together. But the fact that they both were happy with what Steve Keim and Bruce Arians were telling them, they both raved about the Bruce Arians' personality, which is no surprise. Everybody that comes in loves talking to him. So the fact that they both bought into it, and there are a couple of guys who in free agency, they were in demand. It wasn't like nobody wanted to talk to them. Weatherspoon had to sign a one-year deal because he's been hurt, but he still could have found another offer somewhere else. And they both liked the trajectory of the Cardinals and felt like they could plug in and contribute to a defense that was pretty good last year and looks like they can be really good again.
When you look at both these guys and what they could mean to the Cardinals, Peter said, hey, I can do whatever I need to do, and that includes playing nose tackle. And now that Dan Williams is gone, that could be important for the Cardinals. He's listed as 305, but his agent put out there over the weekend that he's actually 320 pounds, so it would make it easier for him to play nose tackle. He's a guy that with Darnell Dockett gone, with Dan Williams gone, you have a piece that can move around a little bit, and he's a little bit younger than Darnell, obviously, and that's something I think they were looking for. And when you look at Weatherspoon, here's a guy who in the 2010 draft, I think the Cardinals were very interested in possibly taking him if he would have gotten past the Falcons at 19. The Cardinals were drafting 26th or something like that year. That's when they took Williams, actually, and they ended up taking Darrell Washington in the second round because they still needed that inside linebacker. And you're in a position where, if Weatherspoon pays off in terms of coming back from his Achilles injury and is able to stay on the field, he's a very effective playmaker. And if you get Darrell Washington back, reinstated, and you can get some things settled down with him, you have the possibility of having two very good inside linebackers that can make plays for you on that front seven.
And with Peters, it's nice to have the versatility that he does, where he can't play nose tackle. He can go outside if you need it, because you've got some young guys, Ed Stinson and Kareem Martin. Stinson especially showed flashes last year, but then he got hurt. And, if these guys are ready, you can plug them in and Peters can play inside. But if they're not, you can always put him outside. You can have him and Frosty Rucker just rotate. And you have enough between those two guys. If your young guys don't develop as quickly as you want, then that'll work. And then, like you mentioned with Weatherspoon, him and Washington have a really high ceiling together. And it's something where you wanted to take that gamble on a guy that's hurt that you didn't have to pay a bunch of money to, and it can really pay off well.